Have you ever wondered what the number one relationship killer is after 15 years? Love is a powerful emotion, capable of igniting passion and fostering deep connection. It is the foundation upon which many long-term relationships are built, providing a sense of security, belonging, and mutual support. When two people come together, they often envision a future filled with shared dreams, adventures, and a deepening bond that grows stronger with each passing year. However, even the most ardent love can be eroded by a silent killer resentment. This insidious emotion can creep into a relationship unnoticed, slowly chipping away at the foundation of trust and affection that once seemed unbreakable. Resentment often begins as a small seed of discontent, planted by unmet expectations, unaddressed grievances, or perceived slights. While explosive arguments and infidelity often take center stage in discussions about relationship breakdowns, it is the slow, insidious buildup of resentment that can be far more damaging in the long run. Unlike the dramatic flare-ups that can be addressed and resolved, resentment festers quietly, often going unnoticed until it has deeply rooted itself in the relationship. It is the slow, insidious buildup of resentment that can be far more damaging in the long run. This silent killer thrives in the shadows, feeding on unspoken words and unresolved issues. Over time, it can transform the way partners see each other, turning love into bitterness and affection into animosity. After years of sharing life's journey, couples may find themselves entangled in a web of unspoken grievances and hurt feelings. These unresolved issues can create an emotional distance that is difficult to bridge, leading to a sense of isolation and loneliness even when partners are physically together. The once vibrant connection that brought them together can become a source of pain and frustration. This essay delves into the heart of this silent relationship killer, exploring the causes and consequences of accumulated resentment. We will look at how small, seemingly insignificant issues can snowball over time, creating a barrier between partners that becomes increasingly difficult to overcome. By understanding the root causes of resentment, couples can begin to address these issues before they become insurmountable. We will examine how unexpressed needs and past hurts can fester beneath the surface, slowly poisoning the well of intimacy. When partners fail to communicate their needs and feelings, misunderstandings and misinterpretations can arise, leading to a cycle of hurt and resentment. By bringing these issues to light, couples can begin to heal and rebuild their connection. Furthermore, we will provide practical strategies for couples to identify, address, and ultimately overcome resentment. These strategies include open and honest communication, active listening, and seeking professional help when needed. By taking proactive steps to address resentment, couples can create a more fulfilling and connected relationship, paving the way for a more fulfilling and connected relationship. By recognizing the signs of resentment early and taking steps to address it, couples can prevent this silent killer from undermining their love. With effort and commitment, it is possible to transform a relationship marred by resentment into one that is characterized by mutual respect, understanding, and deep emotional connection. Resentment rarely arises overnight. It is a slow, creeping emotion that builds up over time, often unnoticed until it becomes overwhelming. It is often the culmination of countless small disappointments, each one seemingly insignificant on its own, but collectively powerful. These disappointments stem from unmet needs and unresolved conflicts that accumulate over time, creating a heavy emotional burden. Imagine a tiny pebble being dropped into a jar day after day. Each pebble represents a small hurt or an unexpressed need. At first, the impact is negligible. A single pebble in an empty jar makes hardly any difference. However, as the jar fills, the weight becomes increasingly burdensome. Each additional pebble adds to the strain, making it harder to carry. Eventually, the jar reaches its limit, threatening to shatter the glass. The accumulated weight becomes too much to bear. In relationships, these pebbles often take the form of unexpressed needs. Each unspoken desire or unaddressed issue adds to the emotional load. Perhaps one partner desires more affection, longing for physical touch and emotional closeness, while the other craves greater independence, needing space and time to pursue personal interests and recharge. Maybe one person feels overwhelmed by household responsibilities, struggling to manage the demands of daily life, while the other feels unappreciated for their contributions, longing for recognition and gratitude. When these needs are not openly communicated and addressed, they fester beneath the surface. The silence becomes a breeding ground for misunderstanding and resentment. They can lead to feelings of being misunderstood, undervalued, and ultimately, resentful. The emotional distance grows, creating a chasm that becomes harder to bridge with each passing day. To prevent this accumulation of hurts, it is crucial to foster open and honest communication. Expressing needs and addressing issues as they arise can prevent the emotional jar from overflowing. By acknowledging and validating each other's feelings, partners can create a supportive environment where both feel heard and valued. This mutual understanding and respect can strengthen the relationship, making it resilient against the small disappointments that inevitably arise. Remember, it's the little things that matter. Addressing them promptly can prevent them from becoming the pebbles that weigh down your relationship. Keep the jar light by dealing with issues as they come. This way, you can maintain a healthy, happy relationship free from the burden of accumulated hurts. In the end, it's about creating a space where both partners feel safe to express their needs and work through conflicts together. This is the key to a lasting and fulfilling relationship. As resentment festers, it casts a long shadow over the relationship. It can manifest in a variety of ways, from passive-aggressive behavior and increased irritability to emotional withdrawal and decreased physical intimacy. Couples may find themselves engaging in petty arguments, keeping score of past transgressions, and struggling to communicate effectively. The once strong bond of connection and intimacy begins to weaken, replaced by a pervasive sense of distance and distrust. Resentment creates a barrier between partners, preventing them from truly seeing, hearing, and understanding each other. It becomes a self-perpetuating cycle, where hurt feelings lead to more hurt feelings, driving a wedge further between them. Section 4. Recognizing the signs. Are you harboring silent resentment? Recognizing the signs of resentment in your relationship is crucial for breaking free from its grip. While some signs are overt, such as frequent arguments or a decline in physical intimacy, others can be more subtle. Do you find yourself constantly criticizing your partner or dwelling on their flaws? Are you quick to anger or feel a sense of dread when they are around? Have you withdrawn emotionally or physically, creating distance in the relationship? If you answered yes to any of these questions, it may be an indication that resentment has taken root. Section 5. Breaking the silence: effective communication strategies. The antidote to resentment is open, honest, and compassionate communication. This means not just talking, but truly connecting with your partner on a deeper level. It's about creating a dialogue where both parties feel heard and valued. When we communicate effectively, we build trust and understanding, which are the cornerstones of any healthy relationship. This involves creating a safe and supportive space where both partners feel comfortable expressing their needs and feelings without fear of judgment or rejection. It's crucial to establish an environment where vulnerability is welcomed and respected. This can be achieved by setting aside dedicated time for meaningful conversations, free from distractions like phones or television. When both partners are fully present, it fosters a sense of security and openness. It is essential to approach these conversations with a willingness to listen actively, empathize with your partner's perspective, and take responsibility for your own actions. Active listening means giving your full attention to your partner, making eye contact, and showing that you are engaged through nodding or verbal affirmations. Empathy involves putting yourself in your partner's shoes and understanding their feelings and experiences. Taking responsibility means acknowledging your own role in any conflicts and being open to making changes. Start by using I statements to express your feelings without blaming or accusing your partner. This technique helps to communicate your emotions clearly and reduces the likelihood of your partner becoming defensive. For instance, instead of saying, "You never help around the house," you could say, "I feel overwhelmed when I have to manage all the household chores by myself." This way you are expressing your feelings and needs without placing blame. For example, instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try, "I feel unheard when I don't feel like you're listening." This approach not only conveys your feelings but also opens up a space for your partner to understand your perspective and respond more thoughtfully. It's about creating a dialogue that is constructive rather than confrontational. Focus on the specific behavior or situation that is causing you to feel resentful rather than making sweeping generalizations. Addressing specific issues helps to keep the conversation focused and productive. For example, instead of saying, "You always ignore me," you could say, "I felt ignored when you didn't respond to my message yesterday." This way you are addressing a particular incident and giving your partner a clear understanding of what needs to be addressed. By focusing on specific behaviors, you can work together to find solutions and improve your communication. Another effective strategy is to write down your thoughts and feelings before having a difficult conversation. This can help you organize your thoughts and ensure that you communicate your points clearly. It also gives you a chance to reflect on your emotions and consider how best to express them. Sharing written notes with your partner can also be a helpful way to start a conversation, especially if verbal communication feels too challenging at the moment. Remember, effective communication is a continuous process that requires effort and practice. It's not about having one perfect conversation, but about building a habit of open and honest dialogue. Celebrate the small victories and progress you make along the way. Over time, these efforts will strengthen your relationship and help you navigate challenges with greater ease and understanding. If you have any questions, write them in the comments section. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and comment 1 inch below. Subscribe to my channel so I can make more content like this for you. Your engagement means a lot for the channel's growth. Make sure you watch the next video because it contains all the hacks and tips on relationships.